On the live session.
Uh, hi everyone. Can you all see me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So, hello everyone, and thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. It's our pleasure having you here. We're also hyped to have you here today.
Thank you.
So, ma'am, how's quarantine heading for you? All cool.
It's going well. We are all like every one of you. I'm also stuck at home and
Mm-hmm.
doing things like practicing or doing my own workouts and everything from my home.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So we can start the live session, ma'am.
Sorry, what?
Can we start with the session?
Yeah, let's begin.
Okay, so I'll just start with a few easy questions. Yeah, hello.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'll just start with a few easy questions.
okay.
So, as we are all engineers and we have a lot of struggle, like, coping up with the academics. Like, at your time, how did you cope up with your academics and badminton at the same time, ma'am?
So, first of all, I would like to tell you that I have been to VIT Vellore previously. 2016, I was there,
Mhm.
and I have also played badminton there with few of the youngsters, and it was fun.
Oh,
uh, I have seen your hostel. One of my neighbors used to study there, and I gave my TED talk there. So my neighbor was like, "You have to come, Didi, to my room, and you should at least see our hostel, and it would be a pleasure for us to have you." So I had visited your sports uh, badminton court and sports areas in the girls' hostel and boys' hostel. I couldn't see. I think there's some difference, na?
mhm, yeah.
Track wala separation.
It's separated.
Yeah. Also, I like even I had done my engineering. I graduated in the year 2010. And as you asked, how do you cope up with academics and sports? So I was able to handle the pressure of academics and sports together. So even in my college, we had a badminton court. I had graduated from KJ Somaya from Mumbai. So even our college had a badminton court.
Mhm.
So whichever lecture I would get bored of attending, or if my attendance was 5%, I would just go to my badminton court and play. I remember like since I'll say 2006. Different countries, maybe UK, or I'll say like not UK, I'll say England, Ireland, Wales, Scotland, France. All those people, all these team members invited me maybe for a tea or a coffee session with the team members, and it was lovely. I mean, I have never seen such friendly atmosphere anywhere before.
That'd been a wonderful experience, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So do you feel there is a specific, shot in badminton which is hard to achieve or master, while playing?
Yeah, there are so many trick shots, which for me, I am learning. Of course, like I have learned a few, I'm learning a few. So there are many such trick shots. If you see, like net pay if you go, and then have you seen Victor Axelsen or people from Denmark doing one very typical and different shot, say tapak karke, like backhand, say
Okay.
so from the net. So a very different shot for me to master because I have to move too much and I have to my body sometimes is like I need to move, my mind is like I need to move, but my body is like no, you can't. So that are different problems. But then yes, I am learning on all these skills.
Okay, and is there anything specific that goes on in your mind while you're in the court playing? Like, do you just try to maintain your calm, or is it like, or the opponent is thinking, what goes on, man?
So every point you have to fight. Every point you have to fight to win that point. So yeah, I mean, so many things goes in your mind when you are playing a shot. So for me, I have to think what opponent might be playing. I also have to be present in what is happening. I have to know the current. Like there are times when your court conditions are not great. Like there is a drift and like hawa aa jata hai. So there is a lot of drift because of the air conditioners in the sports complexes, and it makes the shuttle go. I play a half court game. So in half court, if we have to have that precision कि ये angle पे मारना है, यहाँ पर मारना है, and then if your shuttle is moving here and there, so you have to plan कि how is the drift in that area. So what happens is we all go for practice one day before the tournament begins. Every country has their own practice session times, and we analyze the situation. Where is the divar or where is the open? Because even shuttle condition changes based on that. So we have to keep all those points in mind and play our shot or choose our shot in the most efficient way. Because we play para sports, so we have to conserve our energy the most. So what we try to do is that we play those shots only which we feel our opponents will be able to return to us, or we feel that this is a sure short point. So we have to learn all those points. Like which shot to play so that opponent will not be able to return it based on the opponent's disability, or you will get an easy return so that you can either smash it or then either put it on the net or just dribble it or slice it, depending on that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now the next speaker will come in, asking a few questions. Thank you.
Hello. I don't know how this works. I mean, is anyone speaking?
Hello, Aziz. Are you online?
Hello. Ma'am, am I audible? Hello.
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah, ma'am. What or who helped you to stay strong and not to lose hope through your recovery, ma'am?
So I have a very good family and friends support. So when I met with an accident, it was really tough for me to accept the situation, right? I was 22-year-old when I met with an accident, and I was just freshly graduated from college. It was like just 1 year after I graduated and I met with an accident. So I was really young, but as you all are, or as even I was, we all are very calm people. I was very calm when didn't happen. I had a great support from my families and friends, and as I said, I was fresh out from college. People tend to be a lot in touch when you're out from when few years since you graduate. With time, thoda touch kam ho jata hai, but some great friends in my school, college, or my office coming in, cracking around jokes, or just having fun time in the hospital. So it was all my support from my family and friends.
Ma'am, who was your biggest inspiration, ma'am?
My parents have been my biggest inspiration. My father was a scientist at Bhabha Atomic Research Center. So we had seen, I mean, I've seen how hard he has been working all his life and the projects that he has undertaken. So at when you're young, you feel like, पढ़ाई खत्म हो गया, बस खत्म हो गया, knowledge gain करना हो गया. But once you grow up, you realize, there is no age. Like learning has no age. You have to keep learning. So I have seen my father, and I have seen how he has, worked out how he has created his life or a path for himself.
Who was your guide throughout your journey, ma'am?
Who was my what? Guide?
Yeah, ma'am.
It has been my parents and my sibling.
Yeah, ma'am. Do you have what mantra that you say to yourself when you are competing?
When I'm competing, a mantra. When I'm playing a tournament, I always tell myself that, this shot should be perfect. Whenever I try to hit a shot, whenever I'm hitting a shot, I always tell myself, this has to be perfect. So every shot I demand perfection from myself.
Ma'am, how was your training during your childhood? Did you wish to take badminton as your career at that time?
No. Career, as I said, I was interested in academics more and lesser. I mean, of course, I was interested in sports, but career, I had not thought of badminton or a sport as a career option at that time.
Yeah, ma'am. You are really inspiration to us, ma'am. Can you share what kind of struggles you have go through?
I have gone through my own share of struggles. Like since since I was 22-year-old, it was tough for me to have such a different or such a big change in lifestyle. To relearn how to work and to relearn how to do everything again. So yeah, I mean, accepting the challenge, I had to relearn how to stand up again. So all those things. And it's not just in the because of your disability, but there are challenges even because of mentally you have to have a lot of patience to undergo such life-changing and also to have Hello. What did you say?
Yeah, ma'am. She's asking some question. Yeah.
Ma'am, why did you decide to go ahead with badminton and software engineering?
So I was already, I was working with Atos in Mumbai, and it was fun. It was interesting. And what one thing I thought was that, sports has a very short lifespan, and only when you are young and like in your early ages, you are able to achieve maximum in sports. So at one point, I thought that let me leave my job and concentrate more on sports. Once I want to come back into corporate jobs available honge, but sports मेरे लिए आगे available नहीं होगा. So that's how I motivated myself to quit my job and pursue full time to sports. And it was a very tough decision actually to take.
Ma'am, at the age of 22, you went under this tragedy, and at the age of 26, you came with a victory. How was your journey? Like the difficulties you faced, how did you overcome it?
Well, I have not overcome any, a situation. Whatever is happening is, what my situation is still the same. As an amputee or as a disabled person, nothing has changed. I'm still the same. It's just I have found more strength by pursuing my dreams or pursuing those things which I thought were difficult. So it has empowered me. It has made me more strong. So I would like to take this opportunity to tell all of you, whoever is listening, there are times that you want to quit, or you want to start, maybe have your own startup, or quit your job and pursue another career option, what I would like to tell here is that do it. Like, don't think too much, just do it. And of course, parents, but of course discuss it with your parents first. Ask them, okay, is it a safe bet to do it? My parents were like, yeah, you do whatever you wish to, and they were okay with it. So yeah.
What do you think is the basic foundation that India would need to become a sporting nation?
So this is a good question, and it has like a varied answer. Like, if you ask me about able-bodied sports, it's different. If you ask me about para sports, then it's altogether a complete different thing. Because when I demand of a sports complex which is completely universal disabled friendly, I wish our government gives me that. But then I know it is difficult because our government is putting that kind of finances in other fields, maybe poverty, maybe hunger, maybe this coronavirus situation. So of course, which is my right to move around and have a completely active lifestyle, it is also a responsibility of a government. But then there are, like, I cannot just completely blame government for whatever is happening. I would also request corporates to come in through the CSR to fund or bridge the current gap. I would also request people to be more vocal. Like, all of you kids, if in your area, if your footpaths, or if your roads or any infrastructure which you feel is not good, or is like there are potholes, if your footpaths are taken over by hawkers, you should write a letter to your municipality, local city municipality, and tell them that this is the problem. And if more people, more of us youngsters or you youngsters are more vocal about the issues that are happening in our locality or in our municipality, I think we will be the next change makers. Be more vocal and ask for what is right.
Hello, ma'am. I have few questions.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, ma'am. What kind of fitness regimen do you follow?
During lockdown or like generally?
Both, ma'am. We would like to know more about you. So you can tell us about everything.
So currently during lockdown, I have a fitness trainer who gives me, like, there's an app called as Team Builder. She gives me my routine and instructions. In that app, she puts all the details, like what are exercises I have to do. And it's a routine for 1.5 hours. I follow that. Then I have a dietitian with whom I take care, like we communicate and talk about the changes we have to do within the diet, because in lockdown we are little sedentary, so we don't have time, because we all have access to so many food videos and food bloggers who are doing some making some amazing recipes. We tend to eat a lot, like usually it happens, but my dietitian has been very kind that if she gives me a diet chart I have to follow, and I have to make sure that I follow a diet and a fitness routine. Rest, I'm doing cycling. I just bought a new cycle, so I'm exploring new nearby roads. You can check out my Insta post recently, where I bought a new cycle and I was so proud about.
Yeah, ma'am, we saw that.
Yeah, my sister gifted it to me. So yeah, I mean, currently it's little thanda. I'm not much worried about what's going to happen tomorrow. I know that within 2.5 months, once all sports complexes are open, we'll be back to our track. When I was on track, like when we were doing normal training, at that time what we used to do was train 7 to 8 hours a day, 3 times a day. So it was 6 days a week with Sundays rest. Just like how people, like I had work like office routine. Similarly, I have my current almost same time I put on my training also, or I used to put in my training too.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, how did you overcome the loss of your leg after the accident? was it the start of your success, or how did you feel? Like, did you feel like I can still do, or you were a little depressed, and then you came out of it? What was your experience about that?
I don't know how people take it, but for me personally, I thought when I was in hospital, so when I met with an accident, I had seen my injury. It was really bad, and I mean, I knew that I had to get amputated. But then, when doctors actually took that decision, I felt a little sad initially. But then, not a minute I have cried, because of the situation that has happened. Not on the like ever for this. I know. I mean, I should be like people. It's how people perceive a loss. I maybe took it as a strong person, but everybody I don't think everybody should not cry for whatever thing they've lost, because I think we lose a lot of things. Either we lose loved ones, people like we undergo breakups, or like you lose so many things. You lose maybe you don't pass in your examination, or maybe you drop a year. But I would like to tell kids, okay, it's a very short-term thing. I think with support of your families and friends, we can deal with it. I took it little. I was definitely a little sad, but then later on, I understood that it's just a limb, and you use limb only for what? Walking and running. And once you are in your 50s, how many times will you be walking or running? So I thought, हाँ यार कार में तो जाना है, and हाँ यार रनिंग तो सिर्फ मैराथन करना होगा तभी करेंगे, फिर तो क्या है. So it's only for gym purpose. I thought I would require a leg, and whatever with current advancement of technology, what I've realized is prosthetic equipment can replace our whatever we have lost. Like we have pacemakers taking place of heart. We have prosthetic legs and hands taking place of our limbs. So I think fine. It's okay. It's okay to have any loss that you have to, which you undergo.
Okay, what do you think is the importance of sports in a person's life? How will you encourage a person to indulge themselves in sports and other fitness?
Because you guys are engineers, I have to tell कि sports में तो जाना ही है. Arts भी करो, music भी करो, सब करो, पर physically fit रहो, because at the end of the day you are going to have a sedentary lifestyle with a desk job. 80% of you, the people who are listening here, might be having a desk job in future. So desk jobs makes your life sedentary, and you don't. So that is first reason. Okay, इस age में if you know how much you can do, like you can do weightlifting, you can do fitness through cardios or anything which you love to do. Just go into a gym, in your college gym, see what are the equipments you would like to work upon, see which all body parts you want to currently work upon, and start doing it. Like, or currently in the lockdown, just go for a small jog or run in the morning.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, can you share with us one lesson that your life or your career has taught you?
It's a very tough question. So see what sports has taught me, I'll tell you. That sport has taught me, first of all, it has given me a very high confidence level to maneuver. Maybe in my college, I was different because I was performing very high in my sports. Even in my workplace, my ability, because of my sporting nature, people, I was different. So if that is one very big advantage, once you go out, graduate and go out, you will realize that your current talent, of course, padhai to hai hi, but your other extra talent will set you apart. In this age, in your college life, polish it so that you always get the best of the opportunities in your career. Can you repeat your question?
A lesson that your life has taught you. You told us about your sports. What about your life?
You have to remain kind. You have to be humble. only these qualities will take you ahead, like you being cunning or shrewd and take care of your today and not worry about tomorrow. I think that is not the right attitude to have. That is one thing that, hard work in your present time, and also, you have to be kind and gentle to everyone who is around you. That is like one of the biggest lessons I've learned. Also, I've learned that English is one thing which people are so much worried about in India. I've traveled various countries and I've realized language like spoken English or any language that you know is okay. Any language doesn't matter. Only your knowledge is more important than rather than spoken or written English.
Yes,
Nobody
ma'am.
cares.
Yes, ma'am. So, any advice to the aspiring para athletes? Your advice to them?
I would like to tell the para athletes especially to keep on working hard, not worry about the current situation that is there in the society about, there is so much of discrimination. We all are fighting against it, but I think sports has a power to change lives. And if you take my example, it has changed my life definitely. So yeah, to keep on working in the whichever sport or whichever field is which you like, and make sure you're the best, because in para athletes there is no 2 3. People don't remember number 2 and number 3. People only remember number 1. I think it's there in all the fields, but luckily it's not in the educational field. Education mein second rank bhi chalta hai, last rank bhi chalta hai, but if you have to pursue an ambition, just be the best in whichever area you wish to be.
Ma'am, what was your best experience during a match? Your best, and it's always memorable. Any one experience while you are playing on field?
Best experience. I'll talk about my 2015 match, 2015 World Championship mixed doubles match, which I was playing with my mixed doubles partner Rakesh Pandey. We both were teamed up together, and Bhaiya was an experienced player, and I was like a rookie. My first like major tournament, and Bhaiya was like, Mansi, you only take these shots. I'm going to take the other shots. You make sure, and I will play the shuttle in such a way that shuttle at one point will come to you directly. He's very experienced. He knows what opponents will hit, to change the current action. And he said 5th shuttle, 7th shuttle, 10th shuttle, at least wo to tumhare paas aayega. You finish that shuttle. Wo aayega, I'll make sure that it comes to you. So having that kind of experience, I think I was mind blown. Okay, and whatever Bhaiya was saying was happening. So I was like mind blown. Okay, oh my God, experience is such a big thing. It cannot be replaced by whatever you bring in on the table, like your degree or whatever you bring in. Experience is a very different thing, and I had so much of respect. Varna engineering se pass out होके मुझे लगता हाँ ये लोग सबको कुछ, मतलब when you are you're working in a company और ऐसे लगता है हाँ हमको नहीं आता, अरे हम तो books में और पढ़ के आए थे. So it changed my ideas completely about experience and about experienced players.
Okay, hello ma'am. So it's me again.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah. So, ma'am, you said that your siblings and parents supported you throughout, right? Could you just share how they supported you throughout?
By being with me always. Like my sibling, my sister, I have a younger sister. Her name is Nopur, and she's 2 years younger to me. She's a after finishing her engineering, she joined sports industry and became a sports management professional even before I chose sports as a profession. This was in the year 2012 when I was still recovering from my injury. So at that point my sister had joined sports, and I never knew I would be able to join sports. So she has been my biggest supporter, my favorite cheerleader, and her experience has empowered me in the field of sports. I have a younger brother who's also a badminton player. So after my injury, my brother would always be like, "Chal, hum log khelne chalte hai. Chal, hum log khelne chalte." So I used sports as my rehab method, in my rehabilitation to quicken the process. My brother was always like, "Chal chalte khelne." So he's 7 years younger to me. I think must be like even elder to you guys. But even after, like currently he's pursuing what wildlife manage. Like he's doing wildlife. He has done some amazing work, and I think he's going to present his paper also in the scientific journals. So I have such amazing siblings who are one of the best in their fields. Then I have my friends who never left my side in the hospital. So I have my office friends were such ke office finished okay, they would come to the hospital. हॉस्पिटल में रात रुक के ना धो के हॉस्पिटल में वो जाते थे ऑफिस. सो दीज वर सच, एंड दिस इज लाइक अ ग्रुप. सब ग्रुप में आएंगे, बैठेंगे, मस्ती करेंगे मेरे बेड पर, फुल टाइम पास होगा हमारे हॉस्पिटल में, उसके बाद फिर वो लोग चले जाएंगे. So that is the type of friends I had in from my office or from my college who have never left my bedside. Or like hospitals have that rule, right, that only there are visiting hours. For me, hospital had become really kind, and they were like, नहीं आप visiting hours आपके लिए नहीं रखते हैं, आपका कर लो आप. I mean, people were very kind, and people were like, this girl, she is fun, इसको दे दो, उसको जो करना है करने दो. So if you are also positive and happy now, people support you. I had such amazing friends उसके वजह से. अगर ऐसे friends ना मतलब है तो काहे का दुख, काहे का दर्द और काहे का कुछ भी ये कि भाई मेरा life खराब हो गया. भाई I found how amazing my friends are. So I'm still in touch with them. We still hang out now. The frequency has reduced because of everybody getting married or having family responsibilities, but still we make sure that even in this lockdown we are having our meetings like Google Hangouts pe call and just enjoy.
That's good. And obviously throughout your journey you would have had criticism, right, from people saying that you cannot do it or anything. So how did you come through that, ma'am?
I don't listen to criticism. Unless it's a healthy criticism. I don't remember people. I mean, हुआ रहेगा, बहुत सारे incidents हुए रहेंगे, but I don't remember them.
So just face the good and go ahead, right?
Yeah, and be open to critical, whatever, proper, healthy criticism, imbibe it, try to change and move.
And India is a big country. There's so much competition, be it education or sports. So what did you say to the aspirants to anything? Suppose an engineer or a badminton player wants to come up in the designation.
I would say be the best in your area. If you know, develop that one skill which people come to you to ask, ये कैसे करना है. So even when I was a Java professional at one point, people used to come, like I have worked on cloud technology, I've worked with Amazon Web Services, and people used to come to me, Mansi, how is this thing different? Like, how do we fix this thing? So be that in your area to everyone, to even like in sports, be the best. In your educational field, choose one area which you love. Be the best. Let people come to you. You become the master. You have a doctorate in that area, and be the best. I never could have thought that I would have become a world champion. But see, I became. Like at one point, I didn't even realize it is possible. But then I kept on working towards it because when I tell you that I want to be the best in that area, I wanted to be the best in my area, para badminton. And what is the title that you have to achieve to be the best? Because our sport is currently going to be introduced at Paralympics. So it has not been introduced yet. So World Championship was the biggest title I had to get. And I worked towards it. I went towards that goal and सब कुछ छोड़ दिया. Friends, family, सबसे बात करना minimum कर दिया था. मैं सिर्फ अपने गोल के तरफ ही करती रहती थी. दिन भर सिर्फ ट्रेनिंग जाओ, आके सो जाओ, ट्रेनिंग जाओ, आके सो जाओ. So that I have that rest also.
And just for the aspirants here, could you tell what are the stepping stones you took for coming to this position? Like at first, how you played, and then which position you came to next, and so.
Position, like in what way?
No, like from where did you start, and then the next steps you took, so that you get a brief idea, so that even the aspirants can come up, they can follow those steps.
Okay, so what I have done, like when I started with it, I started with learning how to stand up, to walk, then to get back to maybe running. So in 2015, I ran for the first time. Then I thought of taking up sports. In sports, I went for Asian Games selection trials because I used to play corporate level tournaments and I used to post pictures on at that time on Facebook. So I had friends on Facebook who network through networking. They said that you should play para sports while you're playing with other able-bodied people. So stepping stones will be in every field it's different. So for me it was playing local tournament, then playing selection trials, then playing national level, then from national to open international tournaments to world championships, to making sure you get selected in the Indian team for every team championship or world championship, and then changing your whole journey, your whole training methods, and then becoming a world champion. So, but it's always one step at a time. Take one small step at a time, but it should be a planned and executed in that way. Have your short-term goals written down and then long-term goals written down, and see if your short-term goals are helping you to achieve your long-term goals. If not, cancel down on those things, write it again, and make sure you are reaching there.
Mm-hmm. And nowadays, if you see that most of them are waiting for reasons to come. Like, suppose I'm playing cricket, I'm like, I don't have a good bat, that's why I couldn't hit a six. Or you just keep giving excuses. Would you give an advice to everyone on how you can just gain that confidence and move forward?
No excuses, bus. Do it.
So, is there any motivational tips you could give?
So I follow Swami Vivekananda's one tip, and there is this one quote by Swami Vivekananda which says, "Utho jago aur laksh prapti tak ruko mat," which is like get up and stop not till you achieve your goal.
Mm-hmm.
So that has been a lot of motivation to me.
Okay.
And I think you can also find motivation from that quote.
Okay, and is there any specific hobby you have other than badminton, any other sport?
So yeah, I'm reading this chat. May people have asked questions. So you are asking me from there, or?
Yeah, we can go.
So my hobby is like what? I love gardening. I love collecting stamps. So because I've been traveling because of the tournaments, I've been very rich with my stamp collection. Her tournament ke baad, I go to the local post office and get 1 or 2 stamps for myself. Buy stamps and give it as souvenirs to my colleagues or to my other friends in India also. So that is one other thing that I love. Recently, I've started this new hobby of coloring, which is like a childhood hobby of coloring. But there are a lot of adult coloring books on Amazon, which gives me a lot of peace and gives me a lot of anand. Like, of course, I love watching movies, but more than watching movies, I love to color.
Yeah, it's actually good to continue the hobbies. Most people just forget it on the run. So yeah, I guess we can go to the comment section because there are a lot of questions from the comments. So how is the environment in the sports complex? How people interact with you when they see you playing in such difficulties?
I think I appreciate people asking me questions. So if people come and ask me questions actually. So once you see me playing every day, you develop questions कि भाई ये कैसे possible है. So people come ask me questions, and I think it's okay, it's fine. I love answering to whatever doubts people have. I love to tell people about my prosthetic leg because I love giving that microcontroller wala gyan to everyone, and how technology can change people's life, and how people think check technology. बहुत सारे old लोग बोलते हैं कि भाई technology तो हमें अपाहिज कर देता है. And I tell them no, technology मुझे मेरे इस situation से बाहर निकालता है. So people feel a little, if you give them online banking, there are people who feel अरे ये बहुत tough है. But then people who have interacted with me, uncles and aunties, they are like, yes, we appreciate what technology has, how much power it has to change a person's life. More it's like, I say it's a fun interaction with everyone. Nothing like कोई ऐसे weird questions कोई नहीं पूछता. और I appreciate weird questions. I appreciate anything, any questions. Just hit. Don't keep on staring at me. Come and talk to me.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Ma'am, I have a question. In this webinar, there are many CSE students. Like, when they have chosen software engineering, what is your suggestion to them?
Suggestion. It depends on how people wants to, take up which software is your favorite. Or see, there are different things you have to learn. Like when I started with Java, but then suddenly, jitna bhi technology we developed in Java, we realized that there are a lot of new other options like Python and all. Or when this cloud services came in, it had become like you don't study cloud in your college, right? Or do you? But at least in our times, we never studied cloud computing. But currently, like the job demands you to learn all these things. So learn, but you have to have basic idea of the like C, C++, Java. These are the basic. You have to have knowledge and understanding of it. And if you are able to understand it, you can grasp any other language. And it's just a matter of few days. उसका एक book पढ़ो हो गया. In college, you feel like one book is like one examination or one semester. But once you graduate, you realize one book is 1 month.
In the chat section, we have one question. How is government helping the para-athletes? Do you think that there is still much work to be done to take para-athletes to a better stage? What is your opinion on this?
So government is doing a lot of things. So, give equal treatment to para-athletes and able-bodied athletes. As I see currently, we have this scheme of TOPS, Target Olympic Podium. So there are a lot of athletes who are supported by the TOP scheme, which gives financial independence to an athlete, which makes sure that, government takes care of all the travel and all the cost. I am not in that scheme currently because I don't have my Paralympic event. I have only mixed doubles as a Paralympic event. I don't have women's singles in Paralympics. So because of that, I'm not a TOPS athlete. I'm supported by various corporates who, take care of all my funding. I think government, of course, when you say that, government is funding a few athletes, the number is minuscule. And if you talk about grassroots development of sports, so for all the sports, it starts from the childhood, like for maybe tennis or like all the sports, able-bodied sports, it starts from childhood. But grassroots development for para-sport doesn't start from childhood. It can start at any age. Any person who attains a disability, then that is how it begins. So it is tough to have a grassroots level program, which is currently set up by various sports associations into para sports. So I'm sure government is working in that area, how to do and what to do. But as of now, we don't have that kind of support. Of course, we require more accessible playgrounds, accessible sports complexes. And to reach those accessible sports complexes, we also require accessible transport. Like I am every day dependent on an Ola or an Uber to go to my practice. And it requires a lot of finances. Sport is a very expensive affair. So to have that, government definitely should work on it. Other thing which I think is our expensive prosthetics. Prosthetics, as I say, are technologically one of the most advanced items. Our best innovation that humankind has been able to, invent. I say they are very expensive. So I think government needs to do something because I pay almost 25 lakhs for 5 years and I need to replace my prosthetics every 5 to 6 years, it's a huge cost on my pocket, and I have to have that kind of a support system to afford such expensive prosthetics. So my question is always this, that if we can have the most inexpensive project or mission to Mars, can't we have most affordable prosthetics? And this is where you people come in picture, people from VIT and all the engineers especially, that fine, like make sure that future generation has affordable prosthetics, because this is one of the newest area to be worked upon, and it is changing lives. So if you want to if even one person listening this session today wants to shift your educational field in the prosthetics, go for it. Like apply. Harvard has one of the world's best programs in the field of prosthetics. Apply if you have even 5% of interest. Read about it. And I think, of course, government has to do a lot of things, but then it's working. Like we are a developing country, and if are more vocal, more things will happen in a definitely better way.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, that was an inspiring and motivating session, ma'am. On behalf of VIT Leo Club, I would like to thank you for being humble enough and joining us for today's session. Thank you for telling us about your journey and determination to keep going on. And thank you for teaching us to never lose hope. We're very thankful that you joined us today and gave us your time and effort. Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Thank